already heard if you're like already in progressing with your pilot journeys and like we have been seeing good pictures on the group as well. Thank you so much for that. So today's webinar, as you all know, is about how to run evals for you to get like a base score for your uh, current AI assistant that you are working on. But before Tejas deep dives into that feature, like how to use it, what are the different terminologies that are being used. I want to quickly take like a couple of minutes to actually share the 6 months journey again so that you all are aware and are able to follow through the timelines. And if you're not able to follow for any reasons, please discuss with your mentor as it is important for all of us to learn together in this. I'll quickly share my screen. Sorry. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Kim.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the accelerator, as you all know, it's like a 6 months cohort, like with 34 NGOs in the group that we have. So we have divided that into four phases. The phase one is about foundations and initial build. And how you have done it is before the in-person session that you have come, like the setups that you have done, like understanding the basics of Glific platform. So that's something, and like preparing the knowledge base. So that was something which was being done. And April in-person workshop has set the basics in terms of like you knowing about different terminologies of AI and understanding some advanced terminologies like not terminologies like the features and how to use it with respect to conversational memory, voice capabilities, etc. So after phase one, currently we are in phase two. Phase two, like May and June, the idea was to work with you to support you in creating a pilot plan for you and helping you think through what are the different metrics that you can track from a chatbot point of view, from a qualitative point of view. So the May period was generally like a preparation for the pilot, like building the flows, reviewing it, and all those things. June is where we expect you to all get started with the pilot. Some of you have already started, and like from what I hear from the mentor, some of you are in the process of starting it in this week. It is very, very crucial for you to run this pilot in this particular month and have like some time spent to collect qualitative and quantitative feedback, the ones which you have initially put in the pilot plan. We don't want pilot plan to be just another document. It's a document which is guiding us through this pilot. So referring back to it, collecting that data, doing those interviews with your users, and most importantly, reflecting on your learnings, because most of you have like so many learnings as you're going. So just putting everything together as a report and sharing it with us will be the most important thing. We will be sharing your template for that, and it's again aligned with the pilot plan template that you have. Um, so we want June to be that period where by end of June you should be able to run at least one pilot. Again, what's the rationale behind it? Like we believe in the idea of like implement fast, fail fast, learn fast. So again, it's not like just because it's a cohort and we want to do like a midpoint check, and it's not just about that. It's about we want you to get to the idea of like quickly executing to the ground, learning from the users rather than us perfecting a particular product, because there's nothing like called a perfect product. So it's always about learning, relearning, collecting and listening to your users. So that's the whole essence why we have set it up in such way. So by end of June we'll be expecting reports from all of you, which includes about your pilot learnings and reflections and details, of course. And the session that we are doing today, Evals, is also something we want you to run at least once in this while you're parallelly working on the pilot. We want you to also run evals for your assistants. We'll tell you how to do that. So having like a more comprehensive report, which is a good reflection for you on the work that you have done. And it's also good for you to share with your internal team members, your leadership on what was the work that was done. So that's the whole idea for this. And it's also like a midpoint check-in for us. And if you're not able to like not have proceeded at all in June, like then we would be moving you to the regular SAS method and the funding support will stop. But if you are running pilots, we would be more than happy to help you continue with this pilot in this accelerator journey. So more details about like the template of the report will be shared with you by next week. So after June, the you would be majorly working on evaluation and scaling from where you have started. It's not again like the scaling in terms of like a millions on 10Ks. So the next 3 months, the focus will be on making your chatbot or the AI more reliable. How more reliable? Through again like running multiple evals, improving the scores, etc. The importance of it is something that we'll be talking about in today's session. So that would be one of your priorities because that's like a good iterative journey for you with in terms of AI. And the other important thing that we will be doing like June and July, like your mentors will also be working with you to discuss on where are you with respect to the initial use case document that you have put together and seeing like if you want to add some use case, like add some features based on your pilot learnings as well. So July, August, these are the periods where you would be majorly improving the bot that you have built today in terms of features, user experience, the AI capabilities or the AI reliability in the whole sense, or the way of onboarding, everything. So this is a period where you'll be doing. And in August, we want you to run another pilot with a larger group this time so that you have like a larger understanding and like a better learnings and see how you have done it better than the first pilot that you have done. Again, this is only like a one suggestion from our end. If you are doing like more smaller pilots, like more power to you, we'll be more than happy to support you. And September, again, this is a process that will repeat, like where you will be completing your like collating the feedback on ground, reflecting, adding how do you want to see the roadmap of for this particular chatbot. So that's a conversations that we will be helping you ask, like we'll be asking you, we'll be helping you discuss, etc. So we would want at least this period of accelerative you run at least two pilots and have more important than running pilots, it's important to reflect on it, collect data on it, like think through on this because just running a pilot doesn't help in any way. So all this will be supported by like different webinars from your peers, demos. So you'll be getting like more webinar links like this and like certain sessions from the expert NGOs and the mentor one-on-one mentoring. We'll also be sharing certain resources with you as we are going so that you are able to read at your own pace and also want to do. So we have also finalized the dates for the closure meetup that we'll be having. So it will be in September 25th and 25th and 24th and 25th, the last week of September. Again, the location is yet to be finalized. We will be communicating to you. And that those are the 2 days where it will be more like a closure where you all will be doing lightning pitches. So the idea and also your future roadmap, the idea is to one, because we have like a group of 34 NGOs and it's a great space for us to learn from each other rather than us just going on this individual journey. So the idea is to you learning from each other, see what others have built, like a space for you all to talk, discuss, and see what else you can do in your own chatbot. And we'll also be having like certain like few experts who are coming in there for talks and who are coming in there for sharing feedback on your presentations, etc. And like say top three performing NGOs will be getting like a small prize money that we have thought of. And we'll be sharing all like how the post cohort guidance will look like. And because it's ending in September, like the meetup will be in September, the October will be a time where we will be co-writing case studies with you using the data that you have collected from your learnings so that we are just not ending with here, but this should be like a great starting point as the resources will go to the community that you are part of and will help more NGOs that are coming and working on similar use cases or the sectors that you're working in. And October will also be a time where if you have any mentoring based on the questions, because after attending in person, there might be a lot more new ideas that you have while you're talking to your leaderships, etc. So we'll be mentoring, continuing the mentoring in October as well, where we will be supporting you with questions, future roadmap, any particular features. So that will be something that will be happening through October. But from because the funding, like the funding has started from April 1st for 6 months, you will be starting to get your invoices from April 1st based on the frequency that you have selected. So I'll just pause for like 2 minutes for any questions. Or else I can just hand over to Tejas to focus on the phase two evals part. Yeah, Arman.
Yeah, thanks, Krishna, for taking us through this once again. I think rest of the things I've understood so far. But this is like an interesting thing that the top three NGOs will be getting a grant. I think this makes the competition healthy. But I just wanted to know that so that maybe we all can have some more motivation to also, work better on our pilots. What are those, like some of the criterias, maybe if you can cover up, across which, let's say, the Glyphic team would be measuring pilot scopes. Yeah.
Sure. So two things. One, clarifying that it's not a grant because grant sounds like something which is very heavy. So it's a small prize money. So we want you to be encouraged and continue doing more experimentations like this. Two, the criteria, though we haven't finalized very clearly today. The high level criteria is one, we will be seeing the work that you have done in the last 6 months on different pilots that you have done, the learnings that you had, and what's your roadmap like looking like? Because I think it's all coming from learnings and roadmap, the potential, the impact that you have created and intended to create. So these will be some of the criterias, and as we are closer to the date, we'll be finalizing like a more perfect rubric through which it will be evaluated. But yeah, on a high level, it's on the work that you have done and your future roadmap as well. What you intend to do.
Sure. And just clarifying one thing on that. So, as far as I can see right now, is that based on our learnings, let's say in the first pilot, things can change a lot, right? For the second pilot. So, maybe it's possible that the initial plan that we had made, we might change a lot from that. So, is it fine with that, or like was it maybe
200%. And we want it to change if that is the case. Like,
okay?
so we want you are the best, like judges for what is working for you. You are users. So, that's a very healthy thing to change if it is happening. We are not, we never want to ask you to stick to your original plans if that's not serving the purpose. Whatever serves the larger purpose for you and your audience. That is it.
Great. Thanks, Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? I assume it's a no. Like we'll be sending this like there's like a one like a two-pager that I'll be sharing with you all as a resources after this call as well, along with this recording of this call and certain resources. So feel free to ask your mentors or write back to the email if you have any questions. Tejas, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Cool. So we can get started about the topic at hand, which is about AI evaluations. I think majority of you would have seen that there is a new tab called AI Toolkit, and there's a AI Evals tab also unlocked on your Glyphic instances. Can you just give a thumbs up or yeah, like any use the chat box. Let us know if you have requested the feature. So the way we have to do this is we'll enable it and you get a choice to request for that feature. Once the feature is requested within 24 hours, we will enable it and you'll be able to see rest of the facilities. And I can explain the reason, but it's just some um, manual work that we have to do to enable it. That's why we have kept it that way. But yeah, if it's not done, please do so. If you're not able to see it, like if you can't, I'll just maybe I'll just quickly start with that. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my like the Glyphic instance. So ideally, you should have like earlier it was just AI assistant, but now you should be AI toolkit, and there should be an AI evals page right now. That should be there for you all. And so please, if you're like logging in, please check that this has been enabled for you all. And yeah, and it won't look exactly like this, like immediately when you see it for the first time. Maybe it'll be like something like request, yeah, like share the request. So just make sure that this is there because this is the first step. Cool. I think we have done it for a majority of you all. I mean, like for everyone, because we have been, yeah, that was the whole point. But if it's not there, please let us know. Please let your mentor know, and we'll do that immediately. So cool. So today's agenda, it's about yeah, learning a bit about AI evaluations. It is a slightly advanced concept, but since all of us are now using AI and using it extensively with our end users, and also hopefully within the next 3 to 6 months, you'll also start to reach a larger user base. So it's good to know this. It's good to use this tool to make sure that your AI assistant is performing as per your expectations. So today's agenda, what is evals? Why do we need them? Just some details about what goes into evals. So there is something called as golden set of questions. There is then how to run the eval in Glyphic, and also we can like we'll just briefly touch upon some advanced things. So yeah, like what we are showing right now in Glyphic is maybe like a starting point. You can think of it as a starting point. There's a lot more advanced things also you can do, but once you get started, once you have a hang of it, if you're seeing value, we can work individually with you all to do some advanced things too. Interpreting the results of those evals, and I'll just do a walkthrough of this thing on the Glyphic platform. So our main reason for introducing evals, I'll just refer to evaluations, AI evaluations as evals. So just FYI for the future of the next 30-40 minutes. The main idea is that we have to determine whatever changes we are making in our prompt, in our knowledge base, in our model. If you're changing as OpenAI or as any new providers come in, we add new models, or if we change the model that we are using, we change the temperature, anything that you change in your assistant, we have to make sure that it is not suddenly starting to answer harmful responses. It is not going off the prompt that we have set. It is not starting to affect the way it's answering. So the whole idea is you have to catch the harmful or inaccurate responses before it reaches the users. Yeah, build trust in your AI, in your beneficiaries, in your partners. I'm sure all of us will require partners to reach scale. So in order to be able to, like have, like be able to communicate that, like there is the tool we are using, like the AI assistant that is deployed, that the user interacting with, it has been evaluated. It has been tested for certain questions that, and we know that it will not answer wrong or harmful information. It will not give. So just having that confidence in, like then pitching or like sharing about your tool or sharing about your product or solution and building partnerships. And also largely we know that there is because all these labs are international companies, like it is like all the data, whatever AI is trained on, there is inherent bias. There is like, and it is not aware of Indian culture, or like the culture or the context that your ground teams are going to be in. So if we can try to catch that bias before it reaches that end user, or it gives wrong information which may be biased because of some other thing. So just to make sure that all these things are there, and we're improving, you're able to improve your AI assistance continuously. Again, AI is not a how do you say, like deterministic technology. We know that it can go wrong. It is while it is touted as like being very good, it is good, but then we know that there are like dangers, risks in just like not overseeing how it's doing and just letting it loose. So it's just that one layer of check that we can perform before reaching like before reaching scale, or before like users catch it. So there are like different types of evals. I'll just give you some idea, but like basically evals is similarity, which like just to give you an idea, there are like tons and tons of evals. Like this does not even begin to cover the type of evals that are there, like the different type of evaluations, assessment that you can perform on an AI. But we are trying to like boil it down to whatever is the most basic, whatever is a good starting point, whatever helps us get that first idea. And then we can work individually if someone has a very use case specific, context specific requirements. We will be able to cover those. But largely the idea is uh, so just to give an example, similarity. So by running an eval on your AI assistant, you can determine how close two pieces of text are in meaning, regardless of the exact words used, because exact words basically, two sentences convey the same meaning even though the words may not be same. So one measure of evaluating, or one measure of getting how, how accurate the AI is, it's similarity. Other one is correctness. Is the response factually accurate, free of errors? It checks whether like whether it contains any hallucination, whether it is just giving wrong information. Third is completeness. If it addresses all parts of the question, like suppose a question is asked and it has like two or three aspects in the question, and AI is probably answered the first aspect of it but ignored the second aspect, or third aspect altogether. So is the answer completely covering all aspects of what is asked in the question? Just an example. Another example is faithfulness. So especially in RAG, again, the terms can vary from different platform to platform, and but the idea is whether the answer is does the response stick to what the source documents are saying, without adding any without just adding things on its own. So yeah, just to give an example, like whether if your source information, like whether if in RAG, like in what we are implementing, which is like answering from your own knowledge base, just it's like a measure of is the answer only from knowledge base without adding anything else on its own. And so yeah, like it's just like different you can think of it at different scales to kind of get a sense of how the AI is performing, and there is lots and lots and lots more. There's tons of such things. This is just to give you an idea of what are the types of evils. I'll pause here for maybe like 2 seconds, or like 5 seconds, just to see if there's any questions. I may address these questions later too. If you have any questions, you can feel free to use in the chat box. Feel free to raise your hand, and yeah, we can just quickly address a couple before I go ahead. Yes, Dharma?
So Tejas, is there's also a character a variable, for example, like intelligence, which can maybe also tell us how the AI is responding to new kind of responses, or something which is something that it has not seen before. Like in the pilot right now, so far what I can see is that
Mhm.
that is what we initially meant by artificial intelligence, right? That it is supposed to be intelligent. So, is there any criteria that also measures that? How does a AI responds to a new question which it has never seen before?
Um, I guess like there should be some way to determine that also, but I guess like this also probably needs a little bit more nuance in defining what you mean for it by intelligence in your case, or
Intelligent.
like so yeah, these are like this is different how do you say, like different indicators there, and there are like tons of them. So if you understand exactly why what you're trying to determine, there must be some other way of kind of like defining and then setting a metric for that. But yeah, like again, these are just examples. There are tons, like there are like hundreds of different types of evaluators. So all of these, what I defined, one, two, correctness, similarity, completeness, faithfulness, We call this as evaluators. All of this will, like running an eval will give you like a score. Like there's a on correctness, your AI is scoring, let's say you can define it whether it's 0 to 1, 1 to 5, whatever, and you define that scale. So evaluators and a score for each evaluator, and then you can determine whether it's good or bad. So there are tons of such things. It can be even it can be as custom as you want it to be, and yeah. So we can probably understand this slightly better, maybe with your mentor after you run the first one, and then we can see how to proceed from there. But yeah, there must be something that covers slightly more nuance for your use case.
Sure. Thanks.
Yes, Rajesh.
Hi Tejas, just wanted to know that if AI is not giving the proper answer, or maybe it is going outside our base document, what are the steps we should take and why the AI is giving outside the bound? So, some reasons why it is happening, or what should we do?
Correct, correct. So usually, if we find that it's giving outside of knowledge base or outside of bounds or outside of this thing, the like recommendations would be like we prompt it, like we mentioned explicitly in the prompt. We look at the prompt whether we have instructed the AI to stick only to the knowledge base. Then we can, if that is also covered, then we look at the temperature. Where if we can like reduce the temperature, make it as close to zero as possible, so that it doesn't take its own creativity. If doing after all these things also, if we are doing and we are getting more outside of the bounds things, then there are a few more parameters in the backend that we can kind of figure out as to what's going wrong. And yeah, so just to give an example, even after doing like a couple of iterations and we find that some things are going wrong, like there are lots of these small parameters that we can tweak. But the idea would be to first find out key whether it's going out of bound, and by making these things which are in our control, which are in your control from Glific platform, if that can be done, then you can get the responses to your required quality.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. I'll go ahead. Feel free to use the chat box to also ask your questions as they're coming to you. Any, like, again, no stupid questions or no silly questions here. Just feel free to get as much understanding as possible. There is our Glyphic team is there, so they can also respond in the chat box. Right. So let's go ahead. I'll focus on what we have right now. So going a little into understanding what is our context. You all will have already created your AI assistants. Your AI assistant on Glific will have a knowledge base. You would have supplied it your own documents. It would have a prompt. You would have given it the instructions on how it should answer, who it is answering to, what is the context, what to not answer on, what to say when it can't find the answer. All these things I think we would have spoken about during the last meetup. And then it has a model and a temperature, and this is the overall basically assistant. Also, I'm sure in the last few weeks or like since the last month, you would have also started sharing it internally with your team members. So you should have at some point, like by now, at least some user generated questions. Matlab some idea of like what the users are going to ask. So we should have this right now, right? Like these are the things that we assume that we already have. So considering that, we'll go ahead. What we need to run the like one process of eval or like one run of eval, apart from the assistant, we need to curate this golden set of question and answers. I'll give a more details about what this is, golden set of question and answers. But basically, if we have the assistant and you have a golden set of question and answers, and we run the eval, what we'll get initially right now on the platform is a score called cosine similarity score. Think of it as a similarity score. It gives a like the score will be on a scale of 0 to 1. And essentially what it means is 0 is far, 0 is not the like closer to 0, less than 0.3, 0.4 is not a good value, versus closer to 1, above 0.7 or above 0.65. These are closer to the ideal answers. And again, I just to form this thing in your head, like closer to 0 is not good, closer to 1 is good, but overall also there's like a lot more nuance. But the idea is you have assistant. What we need is a golden set of question answers before we can run the evals. When we run the eval, we get a score. The score is in the range of 0 to 1. And yeah, 0 means slightly not good. 1 means, okay, this is like closer to 1 is, okay, this is as per the expectation. So with that idea in mind, uh, so since you already have golden question and answers, sorry, since you already have the knowledge base prompt and everything, evals, this entire infrastructure, this is set up in Glyphic. What you need to work on right now, or like what is the main ask and the main task for us and to get started in the journey of running evaluations is the golden set of question and answers. So I'll speak a little bit more about the golden set of question and answers. Essentially, think of this as a repository of curated questions. So questions which are most likely to be asked by users. And this can have different categories, and I'll go into categories later. So the questions which the users are likely going to ask or which the users have already asked, and a set of for that question the most ideal answer. So think of what a human would answer in that case. Answer curated by a human as to what that ideal answer should be. And so that's what a golden set of Q&A is. Again, it has to be golden because that is a reference which the AI will then which the process of evaluation compares. So you have a golden question, like a question, you have an ideal answer, and the whole process of evaluation is that when the LLM answer is generated, when the answer is generated by your assistant, we run the process of comparing your ideal answer with the AI answer. And then we get like a score for each question or each question answer pair between that 0 to 1, or then you can get many evaluators. But again, the whole base of this thing is there's an ideal answer and there's a AI generated answer. And then you can run different evals on comparing these two answers. Whether as compared to answer one was answer as compared to ideal answer, how similar was the AI answer as compared to ideal answer? How complete was the AI answer as compared to ideal answer? How correct was the ideal answer? So things like that. So that's why golden set of question answer is essentially uh, um, think of it as the questions that a user will ask, and that's why it's important to cover different categories. And now I'll go into the categories, which is think of how the users are going to interact. They can ask, they can ask incomplete questions. They can ask like, like they're likely going to ask things like, so think of a use case where there is a chatbot for women to interact with the AI-enabled chatbot to quickly resolve maternal and child health related issues. Let's take that sample use case. The end users are likely going to ask questions in any format. They can simply just ask like, okay, nutrition chart. Like just for example, look at this, like second last row. They can ask what to do after 2 months. Whereas when we are creating or when we are you interacting with the chatbot as a creator, as someone who is on the Glific background creating, we will and testing, we will ask what is nutrition chart, how do I what to do after 2 months of pregnancy, what to do. So we will ask such complete questions, but user may not, like their end person who it is intended for, they may not ask exactly in the most perfect way, right? So the idea of categories of questions, we have to try to cover as many of these categories as possible in the golden set of question and answer. So recommended is that we should have at least 30 golden pairs comprising of all these categories. So just different categories here are, one is obviously the important information related questions. So questions which are actually just asking for the knowledge which is there in your knowledge base. So whether the AI then it determines whether is the AI able to capture the factual information and relay it in the words that you have that are ideal for your users. Then there are practical situations, whether whatever knowledge is there if you think of it ki knowledge ko, how to implement the knowledge, how to make that knowledge more implementable. So like some implementation based questions. So for example, in this case, how should I care for my stitches after a C-section? So again, there should be some information about like how to care for stitches, what precautions to take, or how to do what precautions to take after C-section. But when someone is asking how should I care for my stitches after a C-section, is it able to understand and give an answer as a implementable action plan for the person who's asking it? So again, think of questions which are not just asking for information, but also asking the AI to think, ki, I have to implement this practically, how it can be done. So putting the AI in practical situations. So some questions that simulate that practical nature of, like on ground realities. Then obviously the third category is where we are always saying it do not answer outside of the topic that you are supposed to cover. Like we don't want like your chatbots to start answering about like cricket, politics, all these things. We don't want it to start answering unless it's defined for that, but most of us are not. So again, like and also like some other edge cases where you don't want the AI to answer. For example, uh, again, so things where neither the information is not available, or there's a potential to hallucinate, or it's a exact guardrail that you don't want it to answer. So that's the next two category of questions. Like for example, in maternal health care case, you don't want, like as per Indian policies, you don't want to give any information on the gender. So again, like these are the edge cases, and since you have, I think for this, for your own specific use cases, there will be certain specific information which you don't want it to give. So put those questions also, which test that thinking. Okay, we have mentioned for AI to not answer when it's not related to this topic, or not answer or give this fallback answer when it's related to some specific niche, or like a nuanced topic that you have to stop the AI from answering. So make sure that those questions are also part of your Golden's answer. And then things like incomplete questions, so that typos in the question, things like that also. So that it kind of like, if you know ki your users will ask question in English typed in Hindi, or Hindi typed in English, like in English or Hindi mein likh ke they will ask questions, or any other language. If they'll ask question in Tamil, Kannada, like all of any of the language that you are interacting. So put the questions in that exact language, in the exact way that they are likely to form the questions. So keep all of this in mind. Ideally, there should be enough questions along all these categories, so that you can get a holistic view of how the AI is responding. And the majority and the nuance of running evaluations is in actually curating the golden set of question answer only. This is going to be the most difficult part in running the evaluation, to get that questions which cover at least all of these situations, all of these categories, and to have the ideal answers for that. So this will be the biggest task, or I would say like the biggest nuance that you will need to then to understand the evaluations. Rest of it is just like clicking some buttons and running the process and interpreting the results, which is easier compared to this process. So I'll stop here for a minute. I'll see if there's any questions.
Tejas, are we handling emojis also?
Yeah, you can. So ideally, just put exact text as your users are likely going to ask. If you think your users are going to put emojis in their questions, put that also. Put such questions also. Deepti, I hope that answers your question.
Sorry. Yeah, Tejas, yeah. So we'll try with the different emo. I mean, WhatsApp people use it in very
Yeah.
informal way, right? So
Yeah. Feel free to, like exactly however your users are like likely going to ask the questions, use exactly those things. If possible, the best way would be like look at how what users have asked, pick out like 15, 20 questions from those only, and then come up with nice answers for that.
Okay, okay, Tejas. Yeah.
Yeah. Shraddha has a question in the chat. Maybe someone from the team can answer in the chat itself. Um, any other questions anyone would like to unmute and share? I'll wait for 5 seconds more, else we'll go ahead.
Hi, Tejas. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi.
My question is, like, do we need to come up with these questions after our pilot, or do we have to do it simultaneously? Can we use our learnings from the pilot to design these questions?
I mean that is a call you can take. I would say if the pilot is not with a lot of users, like then you can do it parallelly. If it's going to be with a lot of users or the use case is critical, then you can do it like beforehand. But yeah, the idea is like you can take this call, post this thing, but it's okay even if you have like sample questions that you think just to get an idea, at least like put put like, and it's okay, like just put like, let's say the most unlikely question someone is going to ask, or like the most common question someone is going to ask. Run an eval once so that you can quickly understand how your AI is responding, what is the score looking like, and then you can do the eval. So again, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's not like you need to do it only once. You can run these evals multiple times. And yeah, like so that's a call you can take. I would say if the pilot is like small, then you can do it parallelly, like less than 30, 40 people. If it's close to 100 people, maybe do it beforehand just to get a check so that 100 people, the diversity of questions is going to be a lot. Then you don't want to like feel like, some wrong answers got delivered. So just maybe that's a call you can take.
Okay, thank you.
No hard and fast rule as such, is what I would say. Cool. So I'll quickly go ahead. Again, the major part of this is the questions and the answers. And it doesn't have to be like in first time you have to get it right. This also can be iterative process. You come with the first set of golden questions and answers. You iterate on that. You improve the answers that you're doing, and that's also quite acceptable. So I'll just quickly go over what is the result of the eval that you will get eventually. Right now, as a starting point, immediately when you run the eval, what is the result you will get? The result, I mean, right now, the first evaluator, what you will get is called similarity. We call it cosine similarity just because it's a like a like a jar. I mean, I would say cosine similarity is mostly like a tech jargon. Think of it as like a similarity score, and it just measures whether the ideal answer and the AI generated answer, how similar are they in their meaning, despite some different words being used between the two. So just to give an example, if the question is what is Glific, and the ideal answer I want to give is Glific is a platform that enables nonprofits, etc., to communicate through WhatsApp. There are three texts over here. So if you look at text three, Indian multinational company that provides an online platform for discovery, restaurants ordering foods. Even though so text three will be obviously like it'll score the least because the meaning of these two sentences is very different. Now there's text two. Glyphic is a digital tool that helps social impact organizations engage in their audience on WhatsApp with chatbots. Again, text two and text ideal answer, even though text two is correct, it's accurate, but it is not close to the ideal answer as compared to text one. Glyphic is an open source platform that enables nonprofits to communicate. So in these three things, text one will be rated the highest, text two will be rated slightly lower, just because the ideal answer that I've put as a reference answer, that is closer to text one, even though text two is correct. Factually, text two is also correct. But again, the AI is not looking at, the evaluation is not looking at this information. So just to give it, this is the idea of like similarity. It just measures how close the AI answer is to the answer that you have provided in the ideal answer in terms of meaning. So that is the first evaluator that you will get. Again, over here, higher score means closer to the ideal answer that you have written. We are not saying that this is closest to the ideal answer. If the ideal answer you have provided itself is wrong, or like if the ideal answer itself is not accurate, and the text is coming close to that. So again, like, so the whole game is about figuring out whatever golden answer that we put, that has to be an actual golden answer. I'll quickly go ahead. Once we run the eval, this is what the result CSV or the result will look like. So there'll be a question, there'll be a ideal answer that you would have put, there'll be LLM answer, and there'll be a score which will come for each evaluation, each question and answer pair. So there'll be a score, and I hope you can see my this screen too. You can see the Google sheet which I have created, which on my screen.
Yeah, Tejas, it's visible.
Right. So think of it as, these are, I like, these are essentially the question and answer pair that I had put, and this answer got generated by, when I ran this eval, I got this answer generated by the LLM based on my prompt, based on my knowledge base. And then the evaluation compared these two answers, and it gave this score of cosine similarity as 0.85. Similarly, across these things, it has done the same thing. So essentially, this is what we'll get, and then you can use like, Google Sheet tools. You can kind of like look at inserting the chart, and you can see like, okay, what are the scores which are rated low? What is the lowest score? How can I? Then you can look at the answer and be like, okay, what is it? Why is the score low? Is it that the answer of ideal answer, is it very different from how the AI is answering? What I need to change in this to get, either you need to change the prompt, or you need to add more knowledge base, or you need to, so that's what you'll have to do to figure out from this. So at least you can aim for improving the scores which are lowest score, and that is the first starting point of running the evals and figuring out which answer or for which question the rating is falling below a certain threshold, and whether that's acceptable or no. Again, I'm not saying that having highest score only is positive, but then at least you can look at it question wise, and you can see a score, and you can then take that the next level of decision, whether, okay, is it acceptable to have a low score? Is it not acceptable? If there's low score, then why is it low? And if I can change something about it in the prompt or in the knowledge base. So these are the major things that you can do once you have this eval scores, and this is how it will look. I'll also pause here for a minute. I know I'm just jumping directly to the scores, but I just want to show what the result will look like. And now then I'll go into the process of running the eval, which is quite straightforward. Yeah, Arman.
Yeah, Tejas, so I just wanted to confirm because I think initially I mixed up it with another eval metrics, which I thought that maybe similarity across answers, right? That let's say if someone is asking that what is Samyak, and then in some prompt it is saying it is urban health organization working in X states, and in some it is saying that it's a NGO working at system level with government. Although both of them are true, but
Yeah,
they are not related to each other, and maybe it is picking from our ideal answer 50-50%. So each
yeah.
response it is picking up 50-50%. So I just wanted to check with you once that similarity is only with the ideal answer here, not across responses.
Correct. It's correct. It's with the ideal answer. You'll check similarity with what is the ideal answer you have provided. But also we'll come back to the point that you have mentioned, right? Ki when same question is asked 2-3 times, it may give different answers, which is pulling from your knowledge base only, right? So
Yes,
we'll also show how you can kind of see that difference in the same question being asked. That is also something that you can simulate and you can get an understanding of in the present system that we have set up.
great.
Okay, so I'll quickly go ahead since we're slightly short on time. And then I'll do the demo. And then obviously, like all these questions, whatever questions you have, you can also like take it up with your mentors. And I think the best way would be to also, if you just try it out yourself and get a sense of how it's working, and also like share, like feel free to get help on from the mentors to kind of like analyze the results. But yeah, so the the main directions on interpreting the results would be like focus on the scores which are below 0.4, and from there look at, also re-examine the references that you have given, the ideal answer that you have given, whether that is correct or whether AI answer is more seeming more accurate or like like appropriate for your use case. So re-examine the references. It could also mean that you change the ideal answer because the AI is answering fairly well. That's also fine. Re-examine the prompt. Like if your prompt is only not, if your prompt is like not giving bullet answers, or if whereas you have written bullet answers, answers in bullet points, so then these things would involve like you re-examine the prompt, and like so there's like lots of things you can do. And again, there is like many people would try to seek, okay, how what can I do to reach a higher and higher score? What's a good score? What's a really good score? What should I aim for? In this case, at least for the similarity evaluator, the best you can do is look at the small, like the scores which are lower, and try to improve those, because the higher scores can like the range of high, like what's a good score will vary from use case to use case. And for your use case, it can be determined, like we'll have to do some research and we can figure out what could be a decent passing score. But generally above 0.6, 0.7, in that range is usually good. Anything below 0.4, 0.3 would be like not so good. And at 0.4 to 0.5 is kind of like 0.5 to 0.4 to 0.6 is kind of like ambiguous range. That's a decision that you will have to slightly take. But like not so good, not so bad. Maybe just like lots of, like because AI is also like verbose. So like lots of information is sent at the same time. So maybe those scores are because of those reasons. But that's like a general rule. Again, this is very use case dependent. So just take this with a pinch of salt. But yeah, main thing is we have to catch harmful or inaccurate responses, right? Like try putting those questions which are likely to get like like where which you know that we don't want it to give these wrong answers. So put those type of questions, which is what we want to test initially, because in the end, this is what will create a bad experience for our users, right? So our main thing to keep in mind is catch harmful or inaccurate responses, catch responses which are likely to give bias, which are going to be in the gray area, which are going to cause issues. Like basically like maybe that could reduce the trust, or maybe that could reduce the confidence in partners to like share this with the end user. So like do that type of testing and then try to improve those scores. That is the larger, keep that objective in mind as you're running the evals, at least the first step of the evals. And then yeah, like I would just end like, I mean, like just this thing ki, largely think of it ki, as you create or update a new assistant, run the evaluation, analyze the result, and see if there's any changes that need to be made. If yes, make those changes, run the evaluation again till you feel confident enough that okay, now it is not answering harmful things, at least from whatever questions you can think of, or the which users have asked in past so far. It is not giving wrong information, it's not giving harmful information, it is not giving biased information, it is not going to erode trust. And like so just cover for those to get started, and then we can introduce more and more advanced evaluators as we go ahead. I'll quickly do a walkthrough, and then I can take a few questions. But yeah, largely it's fairly straightforward. Right now, you will have assistants. In each assistant, you will have different versions. So as you create new versions, and before making any version as live, and when you make it live, it becomes like that is the one that gets used in the flows, right? So as you before making that live, at least that's what we hope that this will help is, before as you make changes, before you make it live, what you can do is run the eval on that on that new version and then see the results and see whether, like making any further change, is it impacting those questions, is it having an adverse effect? And before after that only you make it live and start using it in the flows. That's what we are trying to do, but we are happy to learn from you that how you're going to use this, how it is helping in your workflows, and modify accordingly. But yeah, largely once you request for the eval feature to be enabled, what we'll do is once we enable it, we'll have this page available. Here you can create new eval, and create new eval. Essentially, what you need to do is upload. The first step is selecting or uploading the golden set of question and answers. And we have given the template, so you should be able to make a copy of this template. And the template is essentially this question and answer column. So you should populate your questions here and corresponding answers in this column. Just to give an example, like I have this, let's say I have this set of golden question and answers that I had created for one of the for one of the assistants. I will use that. So again, this is question and this is answer. And if I have to use it, like so you have this sheet, essentially the same template. This is the same template. You should do download. Once you have it in the Google Sheet, obviously you'll need your team members' help to create like a common Google Sheet which has this question and answers. Once you have the question and answer, like what you can do is just this thing. You will have to download it as a CSV. And once it's downloaded as CSV, then you can import it in your from your local device. You can import it in your this thing. Once it's imported, then you can use it again and again, the same golden question and answers. I'm just giving an example of how you need to import it for the first time. Okay, so there is something called duplication factor. I'll quickly explain this. So this duplication factor is essentially the number of times a question will be repeated um, in this when you run the eval on this uploaded golden question and answer pair. So pair 2, and I can give a duplication factor of 1 to 5, and this is essentially what is simulating that behavior of when the same question is asked multiple times, is the answer going to be different? So just to give an example, if I put duplication factor of 3, if I have three answers in, if I have 10, if I have like 10 questions here, so each question will be repeated 3 times. So eventually in the file that gets uploaded in Glyfic, there'll be 30 questions. And each question will be repeated 3 times. And when I run the evaluation on this golden on this golden Q&A, which I've named at golden answer pair 1, each question will be asked 3 times. There'll be 3 AI answers, and there'll be 3 scores for each question and answer pair. So then you can see, okay, when the same question was asked 3 times, what is the variation in the scores, or what is the variation in the AI answer? And that can help you kind of like determine key, so that can help determine more information on what to change, what to improve in your prompt when that behavior is happening. So yeah, first step, select golden Q&A. Second is then selecting the assistant and specifically select the version that you want to run the eval on and give it a name, run 3, and then you can just press run eval. And that pretty much is the process of creating the eval. Once the eval is completed, it takes a little time because we have tried to like use the most cost optimized way of running this. So since we are using the most cost optimized way, so it is taking long time to process each of the like question answer pair and then run the thing. So you can imagine it might take up to 45 minutes. It could take up to 1 hour. But once you have started this, come back and then once it's completed, you can see the complete and you can download the results. Again, the result CSV gets downloaded to your laptop or to your desktop. The best way is then you can open this in a Google Sheet or in a Microsoft Sheet or in whatever like platform or whichever product you use, so that you can kind of then, yeah, review it with your team members and, like interpret the results and things like that. So that's the overview. And yeah, like the call to action from here is please spend the next 1 to 2 weeks to try and create this golden set of question and answers pairs. Get at least 20 to 30. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get it started. Run the eval once. Make sure it has questions which are covering all these aspects which are going to give you wrong answers, or like, like where the answers are like gray areas. Run those questions, see the thing, see the scores, and see what is the changes that you can make. Um, and yeah, mentors will be there to help you with that. Yeah, I'll pause for questions and maybe like 2 more minutes. Thanks for staying slightly more. Yeah.
Yeah, Tejas, actually, can I see the token usage anywhere? Mm.
For the evals or for
Yeah,
your
for the evals or generally also, what is the token usage for a particular question when calling a model? And also the time taken to respond for that particular question.
are you speaking about the evals or for your actual assistant in use?
No, even if it is the actual assistant or for evals, I mean, I just want to use the token. I want to see how much token usage is. I mean, token is consumed for every question that the model is actually
Got it. Got it.
uh,
Got it.
called. So I just want to understand.
Okay, I think we are still figuring out the best way to like surface it for an NGO level thing.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think I'll make a note of your organization, and we'll see if there's a, like if through there is some setup that we have done, and if you're more interested in doing that, we can try to like fast track it specifically for you all. But if you can share me the org name right now, it's immediately not possible, like because we are like footing the entire in a way, the way it's set up, we are like taking all the overall load of all the tokens and all these things. But to make it like NGO specific and give you your own analytics, we have not been able to prioritize that level of analytics for token usage at this point, but we are like actually trying to work towards that. So we
No,
can take
because
it.
when you make a call to the LLM, right, the response usually actually has the token details, what prompt is actually evoked and all that, right? So, and the time and all that. So I was just wondering if it is visible in the UI. Okay.
Correct. It's all this information gets captured, but to make it surface at NGO level, that's something we have not been able to prioritize so far.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Rajesh?
Hi Tejas, just wanted to know about the cosine factor.
Okay.
So that how it will look like that you have uploaded, it will take 45 minutes. So after that, if you can share that also with us, that yes, cosine factor and these details we got after 1 hour or 2 hour, whatever download
Yeah.
time it takes.
Yeah. So, sorry, I maybe that part got skipped, but so the result will look something like this. So once it run completes, you should be able to see this is like an aggregate score of cosine similarity for all the questions. But what we want you to focus on is this results CSV. So you can see the result. Like if you click on this one, you'll be able to download the result, and essentially it's like you can then open it in a Google Sheet or a Microsoft Excel, and it will have, let's say, each question, each ideal answer that you have, the golden answer that you have written, and the LLM answer, the AI answer that you have that got generated, and cosine like a similarity score.
Okay. Okay.
So
Got
so
it.
so this is what it will look like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, like from here you can kind of like do those analytics of figuring out what are the lower scores, how like how what then looking into each of these ones. Yeah, this is how it
Thank
will
you.
look like. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Tejas.
yeah, no, it's welcome. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Tejas, the number of golden questions you mentioned should be between 20 to 30. Is there a reason to keep them in that range, or what happens if they are lower or higher?
Again, no reason. I think all we're saying is anything more than 30, 40, it becomes cognitively loading to understand how it's performing, like where to look. Anything less than 10 may not be representative of, like, at least most of the categories. So think of it, okay, you can also keep like each categorically like five questions, and keep this separate also. Like let's say you have five separate data sets. Like one data set just for, by data set I mean like five different golden question answer, like uploads that you have done. Sorry, just to give you an example. Yeah, so there is no reason, again, like what we're saying, just to give you a fully representative. So any golden question answer that you upload, that gets added over here. So you can think of having like, like even like, let's say like these 3, 4 files, which has like maybe 5, 6, 7 questions each. And these are specifically for that category, like one golden question answer pair just for, practical questions, one golden question answer pair just for, like those stress test questions. By stress test, I mean like negative questions, like the edge case questions, that the questions you're not supposed to answer. So you can keep like multiple such things like that.
And we add multiple, attach multiple evaluation to a single evaluation.
Yeah, so no, so then you can run multiple evaluations. So you select that golden question that you want to run on, you select, and you can run multiple evals on the same assistant, multiple evals using same like version, like same golden question answer pair. So yeah,
Okay.
so I can run evaluation on this CS tutor version 6 as many times as I want, for as many different sets of questions I want. And then I'll be able to see all those, like version 6 say, associated all the runs here. I can download the results, and I can probably then put them all in a same, like in a same Google Sheet with different tabs, and then I can analyze the result, or however is the best way you think about it from there.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Thanks.
Yeah, I think also, yeah, I think feel free to also, like, since you'll be connecting with your mentors, try this out, give it a shot. Like, even if it's like not 30 questions the first attempt, put 5, 6, 7 questions and then run it, just to get a sense of it. And then you can also go on adding more questions. But yeah, that's the idea. And yeah, all the best. And feel free to like put your questions with your mentors. Yeah, thanks for the. I think we have gone 10 minutes over time, so we can end this. Krishna, is any other feedback or something we can?
Nothing. Actually, I have a feedback. I can push it.
Cool. Thank you all for saying. I think if you can just share the feedback, we can drop off after that.
1 second. And meanwhile, feel free to ask questions if you have anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tejas just asking another question. So, like
Hmm.
without a golden Q&A, we can't evaluate by definition, right?
Yeah, yeah, by definition, yeah. Ideally, yeah, you need golden Q&A to get started.
So, for example, if our organizations takes it up for a different program, right, which is altogether a different chatbot,
Yeah.
and let's say that they are doing this very important pilot in which they wouldn't want the AI to give any wrong questions. So, but at that stage, the users have not given any questions from their end because it is not piloted so far. So, can we make a golden Q&A on our own also?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Again, that's totally, yeah, you should also. That's fine. Again, the idea of like typical question, user generated questions, so that you have a diversity. But to get started, you can always like come up with your own questions. Like, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 Nilangshu?
Hi, Tejas. Just a quick question. So, for running this eval, does this also use the wallet balance or deduct any amount from the wallet balance?
No, no,
No, right? Okay.
no. Yeah, it doesn't deduct any amount from the wallet balance. And yeah, like I think all of this is like all the cost of like also like cost of like any tokens and this thing doesn't deduct any wallet balance. I think you can clarify your understanding about how this AI pricing and the gupshup pricing is working with your mentor. But yeah, none of the wallet, like the AI usage or like the token usage is not reflected in your wallet balance.
But it is actually reflecting when it comes to the AI usage part, right? So I'm monitoring my wallet balance and it is deducting, uh,
Yeah.
the balance when it comes to the AI usage part of it in
No,
the flow.
it's deducting based on messages. AI
Messages.
usage AI usage is like based on tokens. Like so you can exchange one message and it can just have yes. And it'll take the same amount from your wallet as like a 10 line message because that is not AI usage. That is just the cost
Okay,
of
that
message.
okay. So that is not linked with the AI token usage that is
Correct.
present.
Correct.
Okay,
The wallet balance is
okay.
just the cost of messaging on like through Gupshup and WhatsApp.
Got
Yeah, the AI usage, yeah, like right now there is nothing that is surfacing the AI usage specific to organization on your platform. So that is
got.
something that we are yet to
Then I think
prioritize.
I had wrong understanding. I have put down something on the message. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just there referring to that. Yeah. Thanks, folks. If you have filled the feedback, you can feel free to drop off. And if you have any questions, I think we can stay here for like 2 more minutes and take those questions.
Hi, Tejas. Just
Hi.
want to understand about this duplication factor. Like, I was not able to understand why do we need it to set to one, like between 1 to 5. What is the
Yeah, yeah.
purpose?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'll explain. So, you know that when you ask the same question to AI 2 times or 3 times, it may not answer in the same way,
Correct.
right?
Okay.
Like how like how Arman explained, like if he asks what is Samyak, it can give even if the knowledge base has like because it has knowledge base and it may not have the exact answer about what is Samyak. It may like take up information about from the knowledge base and it will put together an answer and it will share that. But it may not be exactly the same each time, right?
Great.
So I think you would have also observed this when you ask the same question. It is not giving the exact same answer in every single time. So
Correct.
duplication factor is essentially a way for us to simulate that thing. Ki, now you have so one way to go about it is ki now in the golden set of question and answers. What if I ask like in the golden question answer only I ask this what is like so this is the golden question, right? So what if I
Hmm.
ask this like 3 times? Right? Like if I ask this question 3 times or 4 times, then every time this one will run and I will see this is the ideal answer. Obviously, it'll be the same ideal answer. But every time I run, I will get a LLM answer over here. And then I'll see how different it is from, like what are the differences in this answer? And there'll be also a score, right? Like 0.8, 0. Whatever, there'll be a score. So if the AI is answering wildly differently, then the scores will be like because this answer is very different from this answer, or this answer is like there are like out of the 3 4 answers, one is let's say like one is different and 3 are similar. So I'll be able to see that. Essentially, duplication factor is it's that only. So duplication factor means ki if I have 10 questions and if I put a duplication factor of 2 as I'm uploading it as I'm uploading in the platform, it
Correct.
will multiply that 10 questions 2 times. And in this,
Okay.
if I show you this one, this is the one that I uploaded, right?
Ah,
So, so if you see in this one, there'll be those questions repeated 3 times because I had put a duplication factor of 3.
3. Yes.
So then I can see for the same question, when the same question was asked 3 times, when I see the 3 different answers of AI, how different are the answers? Sorry, I don't know why it's not getting copied. 1 minute. Yeah, I'll just show you. So yeah, I had uploaded this one. Oh, sorry, not this. Yeah, this one. So when I had uploaded it had only 10 questions, right? And I put a duplication factor of 3. So, oh wait, did I do one? I think I did one. But yeah, essentially that's what duplication factor does. It will multiply the number of questions in your golden questions by that many times. And when you use that golden question answer pair, each question and answer will be repeated that many times. So you can see like for each question when it was asked like second time, third time, what was the AI answer, how different it was, and what was the difference in the score.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I think I confused. I hope I didn't confuse you more, but I think you can take it
No,
up with
no,
your.
I understood. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also, I think we should end it in next 2 minutes. Otherwise, everyone is getting more and more delayed for their next engagement. So thank you all, and feel free to connect with your mentors, and you can ask your questions to them too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Thank you.